pack to do, and everyone likes the 87 tops, so it's been a lot of fun. Did you collect as a kid?
Yeah, I did, but the cards I have are all from like 73 to 76.
Right. Okay.
Because that's when I was more of a youngster. So that was more the time slot I was in.
Right. Yeah. So.
And then I kind of, didn't really follow it. And now lately I've been mildly interested in the Project 2020 series.
Right. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that. So
yeah.
As you say, like you say, you do sports and you do art, and the combination is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting to see what people come up with.
Do you have any artists that you particularly follow?
Well, I actually bought one of them, which was the Sophia Chang, Mike Trout one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a few of them. I noticed last week there was one, an Ichiro one, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was.
There was like a dragon and behind him.
So it was Mr. Cartoon did that one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I bought that one. I've been buying them since like about card number 60. So.
Yeah, I've been trying not to get that involved for that reason.
Well, so with the shop, I let people buy stuff there, and the idea was that if we got to a certain point, we get that discount, and I would start being able to get cards on my own. And yeah, it really hasn't taken off here, and everyone's got their own ways to get it shipped over, so they don't have to worry about it. But
right.
I think it's amazing because it just going back and looking at my cards and looking at it as from an art perspective there, and the design elements, and actually having proper artists put their interpretation in there.
Yeah.
It just blows me away what they come up with. I thought kind of the first 50 cards were kind of like, okay, they've put their spin on it, but now you're really seeing them kind of just take the card to another level. And I really appreciate what they've done with the work there.
Yeah, I think they the further they go, they can sort of start to push the limits a bit further,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun. I'm really enjoying the series. I like to see what, I'm posting the cards every day up in the shop regardless. So I always see what So, but yeah, there's been a couple artists that really kind of stuck out with me. So, and we see Blake's donated to my fundraiser, F Dot's donated to my fundraiser, and Ermsey.
Okay, great.
So I'm pretty excited about that. I keep trying to hit up the other artists, and no one's bit yet. So, but it was pretty good. So like I traded F Dot a jersey for the cards, and then
that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I don't have anything but shirts and jerseys there, and everyone's got really cool art, and I don't have that. So I'm kind of like, okay, what can I trade? So he wanted a jersey. Ermsey wanted a shirt with my design for my Dugout Classic logo. So I was like, all right, I'll get you a shirt. That's no problem. So if you ever bump into anybody in Paris wearing a Dugout Classic shirts, then it's Ermsey because recognize him. I think Johnson's gonna have the social media live, and we'll be all set up there. So
okay.
But so you were talking about your cards. Do you still have them, or did Mom throw them out?
Yeah, I actually pulled some. So if you guys want to see some later.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everyone
enjoys talking about their cards there. So yeah, we're always up to seeing what everyone has. So
yeah, I've got I've got a binder of baseball and a binder of hockey left.
Right. Okay.
So I pulled a few of the baseball ones, and then I think John is a New York Rangers fan, is he?
Yes, he is. He's on mute right now, but yeah, he's a Ranger fan. So
okay, so I pulled a couple of Rangers as well.
Right. So you're a big hockey fan then?
Yeah.
All right.
Coming from Canada, it's
of course. Yes.
It's kind of a prerequisite, I guess.
I know John's got a question he's going to ask you already, and I won't jump in and ask it this time. But so Seattle has a team now. So
the Kraken.
I have to learn about hockey now. So I'm giving it the season to kind of suck me in. What am I looking for in hockey? Because I know nothing about hockey. We used to get Canucks games, but again, like that Fox era where you had the blue puck and the stripe.
Oh yeah.
And that didn't really do much for me.
Yeah. Well, they have a pretty good general manager in Ronnie Francis.
Okay.
He was on some of the Stanley Cup teams for Pittsburgh.
Right. Okay.
With Mario Lemieux and those guys. So they should have a good foundation.
Right.
Like good management,
So yeah.
And I saw I actually watched the uniform unveiling.
Okay. What'd you think?
So I love the logo and the uniform. It looks great.
Yeah, I really like how they incorporated the Space Needle into it,
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know, there actually is giant octopus in the Puget Sound. So that's
Oh.
so there is a tie there. It's not like they went, oh yeah, the Kraken, it's a cool name. There actually is giant octopus out that way. So so when everyone's kind of going, why would you pick the Kraken? I said, well, there are something like the largest octopus in the area out there. So
right.
Cool tie.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, he put his jersey on. But I like the fact they call it. They're already calling the Key Arena or whatever.
Kraken's just a shit name.
Oh, there he is with the Ranger jersey.
It's a terrible name for a sport.
Put it on.
Sports team. Oh my god, I don't even want to get started on that. I have. We're going live. I've shared everything, so I'm ready to start. Where you guys are.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Well, let me finish that. So, the Key Arena, or whatever they're calling it, Climate Pledge Arena, whatever they're calling it. So the nickname for that's the Crack Den.
Right.
And if you're a fan of the Kraken, you are crackheads. So I'm like, I'm
right.
You would need to be a crackhead to follow a team with that ugly sweater, man. I don't like it.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, I don't like Seattle Kraken. The whole thing. It's just whatever happened to teams like the Maple Leafs and the Rangers. The Canadiens. These sound like hard men. Like proper hockey players, and Kraken. It's like a cartoon character, like hockey franchise. I'm not a fan.
Well, it's better than the Mighty Ducks, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. So everything went downhill when the Mighty Ducks came around.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
The Mighty Ducks worked in 1993. Like it was a different time. It was a specific. It was so everything was rad in 1993. So Mighty Ducks made sense, but no.
Unfortunately, you were rad in the 80s. You weren't rad in the 90s. Or maybe you were rad in Scotland, but you weren't rad.
Everything was still rad in 1983. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was still running then. Plus, I'm not a fan of sports teams that don't have an S at the end of their name.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah,
like the Miami Heat.
Yeah, Minnesota Wild. I like
I
like the S.
Minnesota North Stars was perfect. Beautiful uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
North Stars uniform is beautiful.
I know.
So you got a Toronto Marlies up there. I see. Nice one. Like this isn't a hockey podcast. This is a baseball podcast.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. My name's John McKellar. I'm back with Jason for the second half of tonight's interviews. The first one that we were supposed to have at 9:30 was postponed. I believe
there was a conflict of interest, or that something came up and had to go. So
due to scheduling difficulties, we're going to have to postpone that one. I apologise for missing the interview with Stuart. I caught the tail end of that. I am a card-carrying Brett Gardner fan, and I hope to get a chance to speak with Stuart on another episode of Ball Caps and Bagpipes down the line. To close out tonight, though, we have another great guest, David Holden. We're going to introduce David in a sec. But this is Ball Caps and Bagpipes, and I am John McKellar, and there's my co-host.
And I'm Jason Durr, former league president and Baseball Scotland Hall of Famer. I'm also the owner of Dugout Classics, and I'm excited for tonight's guest. We're chatting baseball, we're chatting hockey, we're chatting art.
I'll tell you what you're not doing, Jason. You are not currently a champion. And this guy is. The Glasgow Comets, 2020 Glasgow Cup champions. Would you like to introduce yourself, David?
Sure. I'm an artist, Dave Holden, and I live right downtown in Toronto, originally from Montreal, and currently a big Blue Jays fan. Used to be an Expos fan, and a Montreal Canadiens fan growing up in Montreal in the 70s.
So I like the fact I already like you anyways, Dave. But the fact that the Expos went to the Nationals, you're like, nope, not going to do it. Because my Sonics have left, and I'm still good. That the Oklahoma, I just can't bring myself to it.
I know.
So I mean, I just started playing basketball again after. Oh gosh, I haven't probably played in like 20 years, but it would take me 10 years to even think about the NBA. So I like the fact you went. If you're gonna move, I'm gonna drop all association with you. And it must have been a bit gutting last year, but
Yeah, I actually went to a Nationals game a few years ago. Right. Just I happened to be in DC, and I figured I'd go to a game, and I actually wore my Expos cap. So
did you get stopped?
No, So it was good.
Did you see Expos gear when you were there, or they're just full on Nat stuff now?
Oh, yeah, I didn't see any Expos gear. It was all Nat stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. This is my old Expos starter cap from the 80s.
See, that really sucks because I absolutely loved the Montreal Expos logo and the stadium and stuff like that. They were only around for about 2 years after I started watching baseball, but I quite liked the Expos.
Yeah.
And I liked the fact that there were like there was a symmetry. There was like a Canadian team in both the American and National League.
That's right.
But now you've just got the one Canadian team and 29 American ones.
Yeah.
It's not the same. We need more Canadian teams, I think, in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully they'll, they're trying to get another team. We'll see. I know there's a lot of American teams or cities vying for teams as well, like Nashville and Charlotte and Portland. So we'll see.
So I say bring back the Expos. The Winnipeg got their Jets back. We need to bring back the Montreal Expos.
Yeah, that's right.
So Anika's involved in the Nashville campaign.
Yeah, I was listening to some of that podcast and I heard her mention that. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, so that's cool. She's done some work from there, so she was just awesome. So and then that was a blast. So, anyways, enough about our other guests. Let's talk about you.
So, David, we like to start all the interviews off with pretty much the same kind of question. Would you like to start by telling us what about your baseball background growing up? Did you play baseball growing up, and if so, to what level? And what positions did you play?
Yeah, I just played with my childhood friends at the local park. We were fortunate enough to have a cottage, so we would go there in the summer. So I wasn't really around in the city during the baseball season. But, whenever we'd go back on a weekend or something, or the beginning or end of the summer, I'd get together with my buddies and we'd play some ball. So, and then later on in my 20s, the company I was working for, we played softball, which was fun. Yeah.
So what positions did you play in softball?
I was in right field. Yeah.
Awesome. Incidentally, that's where I was playing today when we won the 2020 Glasgow Cup.
You play first. They didn't let you play first base today. It was too important, huh?
I played an inning. I played an inning at first base, but then Jason came into the game at first, and I moved into right.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're not here to talk about me though.
We mention it every chance you get.
Being that you were a hockey fan growing up, David, in Toronto, there's a question I'm born to ask you. Did you play a lot of pond hockey growing up? And if so, talk to me about that experience.
Yeah, not really pond hockey. I mean, I grew up in Montreal till I was 14, and then our family moved to Toronto. So back then, the first, I started playing hockey probably 4 or 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And at that time, we'd play at the local park, and it was all outside. So, you shovel the ice before the game, and they flood the rink with a hose, and then you get out there and play. And, your parents stand on a snowbank and watch you play hockey.
Awesome. What positions did you play on the ice?
I usually played forward, either center or left wing.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Cool, and then I played, I guess, when I moved to Toronto up until I was about 17. But I wasn't really at a high level. I mean, I'm okay, but compared to other Canadians,
So David, talk to me about your experiences growing up watching baseball. You grew up an Expo fan, and now you're following the Blue Jays. Do you have any particular memories or favorite ball games that stick out in your mind from when you were
my parents, they used to take my brother and I to Expo games at Jerry Park. So that probably would have been in the early 70s.
Yep.
And I don't really remember the stadium that much or the games, but I do remember getting like the giveaways. Like I remember getting a Steve Renko poster. I remember Bat Day and, Helmet Day, that type of thing.
Le Grand Orange. You can't forget about him.
That's right. Rusty Staub. Yeah, I put him in one of my paintings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then my grandfather on my mother's side, he played for an amateur league in Montreal in the 1920s.
I saw it on your website. Go into more details about it, because I thought it was really cool. Because that was
so I actually have the schedule here. So this is actually, what he gave me, which is Montreal International League. So it was from the largest amateur baseball league in Quebec.
Right.
And yeah, I'm really honored to have it, you know. And he was always talking about stories of playing in that league. Unfortunately, I don't remember too many of them. It's too bad they weren't recorded.
Yeah.
But last year, I actually contacted a museum called the McCord Museum, and they both basically are all about the history of Montreal. Right. So I was trying to get some information about the league. But unfortunately, the woman I was in contact with wasn't able to come up with anything for me. So that was a bit too bad, because I would like to know more about it, you know?
Yeah. So that schedule you have there is kind of a piece of Quebec ephemera rather than...
Yeah. I've actually thought about, you know, talking to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame about it and maybe passing it on to them.
So I know Bruce, if you want to contact.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I have, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we tried to get a World Baseball Hall of Fame started because he's Scottish or of Scottish descent, and so he reached out to me yeah, it never came to fruition. But
oh, that's too bad.
But yeah,
well,
Bruce is still there. So after this, I'll drop you his email, and
sure,
and you can try from there. So
it's funny you say that, because I don't know if you know, I was in the Baseball is Art exhibit.
You are, yes.
Yeah.
I love that art. I want to talk to you about that as well. Yes.
So I actually contacted the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame because I wanted to see if they could actually host the show that was down in North Carolina, because I thought that would be a great idea. But they had just done a renovation, and then they were saying that they no longer have that gallery space, which was a bit unfortunate, you know?
Is it a big, I saw a couple pictures of the Hall of Fame. Is it a very big one? I mean, I don't know. I know there's a field there, but
yeah, I actually haven't been. I know they renovated it, I think maybe last year. And so I'm not really sure. And then the Blue Jays had a fan fest at the Rogers Center this past winter. And then the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame had a pretty large booth there, right, which was kind of cool. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So it's in St. Mary's, Ontario, which is kind of southwest Ontario.
Yeah, I had to go look it up because we were trying to figure out where it was, and I've got some friends that are Canadian. They're all out in Ontario as well, so they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that place is. It's in the middle of nowhere."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they were like, "Couldn't they not find something closer to Toronto?" No one's thinking about that way.
So David,
well, now sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to butt in and say, you mentioned Rogers Centre there, and when I hear that, I always ask the same question. On a scale of 1 to Rogers Centre, how terrible is that new name for the Sky Dome?
Yeah, I'm not too fond of it. I know
that seems to be, that's the consensus among everyone that I've asked.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give them the credit, though, because, you know, the team was in a bit of financial trouble years ago. They couldn't find a buyer when Labatt's beer was selling them. And Rogers stepped up to the plate. So at least, you know, I think they deserve, if they're going to spend that money, they deserve to have their name on there. But it could have been like the Rogers Sky Dome, which would have been at least.
There you go. There you go. I had that idea on an interview last week, Jason.
Yes.
You should have just hired me when I was, 18 at the time. They changed the name or something like that, because it's been Rogers Centre for a good decade now, hasn't it?
What? Sorry, what's that?
It's been Rogers Centre for about a good decade or so now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been quite a while now.
It's amazing. No, still no one calls it that. You'd think they would have the idea of just changing it slightly to Rogers Sky Dome.
I know.
Hey ho, I'm sorry, but I didn't there. What were you saying?
Wait, you're not going to tell us that you won today?
Yeah.
Well, now that you mention it,
I think they should have given you a medal so you could have won.
Yeah, I might donate this hat to the fundraiser and own a piece of obscure Glasgow baseball history. I'm sorry, as you were saying, David.
Actually, my grandmother on my father's side was from Glasgow.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but she moved to Canada when she was quite young, so yeah.
Did she have any memories of her time in Scotland, or was she?
No, I think she was probably like 3 or 4 years old.
Right.
Yeah, and she's passed on for quite a while now. So Yeah.
Have you and the family ever been out this way?
Yeah, I was in Edinburgh in, geez, it was a long time ago, but 1979.
Oh, wow.
So I traveled to Scotland with a friend of mine and his mom. So we went to Edinburgh and then we took a bus across to Holden.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous part of the country.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So I'd like to come back.
We would love to have you. We would love to have you go for a beer.
Yeah. Because
I don't drink beer, but I'll have a wee Pepsi and we'll sit and chat.
John,
because I know Glasgow has a really good art school.
Yep, Glasgow School of Art's quite prestigious.
It's not on fire.
Yeah, I know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So John actually doesn't drink. So when you come to Edinburgh, we'll give you a whiskey. So don't worry about any of this beard nonsense.
Okay.
Scottish. And I worked for a year in Edinburgh College of Art. So that's what kind of inspired me from the art side of things there. And that's how my art and baseball journey kind of all mashed up. So
interesting.
Yeah, so I worked right next to the main exhibition hall, and there was student exhibitions every Friday. And so my lunch break was spent just walking around and looking at them and just being exposed to a lot of stuff I normally would have probably went, oh, that's crap. Like, what kind of stuff? And then actually be able to speak with the artist and go, right, I'm a newbie to art. I don't get what you've done. Please explain it to me. And they were always happy to talk about it. And I always had the coolest thing to find out. You go, okay, I get that now. It may not be for me, but I see your perspective of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's say we'll dive further into David's art in just a sec, but I just want to quickly ask one more question about hockey. So David, you would have grown up watching some formidable Habs teams back in the day. Do you have any a favourite player from back then? And if so, and also do you have any favourite memories of the Habs that stick out in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the mid to late 70s. So that's when they won 4 cups in a row. Mm-hmm. And we actually used to go to quite a few games, which was pretty exciting. And I remember we all skipped school for the 79 Stanley Cup parade and went downtown to watch the parade.
Yes, you got your priorities in the right place.
That's right. So John, as you're a Ranger fan, I pulled a couple of Ranger cards.
Oh, very nice.
So this is a Roger Bear.
Roger Bear,
probably 75 or 76.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was at a hockey school once and he was there, which was kind of exciting. He was just standing around.
Wow.
Was he?
But he wouldn't
somehow I just imagine that in Canada, where every time you go anywhere, there's just like a famous hockey player standing around, just chilling.
And this is an Eddie Jackaman, the goaltender.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Tough guy, great goalie.
Yeah. So I was very fortunate to be living in Montreal when the team was winning all those Stanley Cups. It was pretty exciting.
So I became a Ranger fan in '95, which means that I've been a fan for 25 years and have been, let's say, disappointed by a lot of playoff runs. We last won the cup like the summer before I started paying attention to hockey. I didn't really get a chance to watch it for the first few years. I used to, and I kept in touch through, like news programs and the video games on the kind of Mega Drive or Genesis, as it would be known in North America, like PlayStation eventually. Before obviously I became a proper fan, like in the late '90s through Channel 5 over here, which incidentally kind of indirectly how I ended up becoming a fan of baseball. But like Mark Messier was my guy growing up. I mean, I could talk hockey with this guy all night, but Jason, let's move on and we'll talk about David's art and we'll get him back on ball caps and bagpipes, and we need to think of an extra ball caps and bagpipes and goalie masks or something. An entire sub-series on hockey. Jason, do you want to touch on David's art?
Yeah, we will. So I want to know what's a better TV show, Kids in the Hall or Trailer Park Boys?
I'm more of a Kids in the Hall guy.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That broke Jason's heart.
No. I grew up with the Kids in the Hall, and they're absolutely hilarious. And Brain is obviously one of my favorite movies of all time. But I only found Trailer Park later after moving over here. So.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really. I can't say I've seen a lot of Trailer Park Boy episodes.
I have a friend from Mississauga. I have a friend from Brampton, and that was all they could talk about when I first met them, and about TV shows out there. And so yeah, I had to watch it. I loved the show, yeah, but it was just one of those. I thought I'd ask you what your feather was.
Yeah.
So we were talking about jerseys and logos. I'm going to say, do you have an affinity for those? Because we obviously were talking about the Kraken, and you were interested in the design of the logo.
You know, it's funny, like growing up, you know, I'd watch a lot of sports, but, you know, I'd sit in front of the TV and just draw the logos of the teams that were playing. Mm-hmm. And it sort of, you know, dovetailed with art for me. And yeah, and even till today, I'm still always interested in uniforms and jerseys and hats. I do have quite a few hats as well.
Right, nice. I love my hats. So anyone else got a hat thing, I'm like, yes.
I was trying to figure out what hat I should wear. I figured, I'll just wear my old Expos hat.
I literally had my bucket of hats here for Blake, like 100 hats here, and I was like trying to swap them every 2 minutes there. And I was so nervous for the interview that I completely forgot. And I was going to gift him a hat, and I completely forgot to show him the hat.
Jason was honestly starstruck before we spoke to Blake on Friday. All day he just kept buzzing about talking to Blake Jamieson on the show. He didn't disappoint, to be fair. The guy was an amazing interview. But yeah,
I really like his.
I felt bad for Jason not being able to trade his hats around.
Oh, it's all right. It was good fun. So, but no, I mentioned that because that's, I think, after learning stuff from Edinburgh School of Art, and I started looking at hats, and then I started looking at logos, and then I kind of came across Todd Radom, and he's obviously an amazing person, and no one really knows him besides artists and designers.
Yeah, and now he's paired up with a guy from, I think he lives in Toronto, and they've just done a book on the history of hockey jerseys.
Chris Creamer,
yeah. So Sportsnet Logos, is it?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Yeah. So I've been following him for quite a while.
So yeah,
and also UniWatch.
Yep, UniWatch as well too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the attention to detail they go into about the uniform.
I know.
Like, okay, like we reverse the color of the socks because it's every third Sunday, stuff like that there. And I know it was really interesting. So I've met Tim Godden before, and I went to his house, and he'd gotten Todd Radom's new book on the ugly jerseys of the 70s there.
Oh, yeah.
He talks with Todd quite a bit, so it was kind of fun to pick his brains to kind of see stuff out there. So, but it's just nice to know there's another logo and uniform aficionado out there.
Well, you know, I've got my Jays cap here, and the thing I like about it is that it doesn't have the new era on the side.
Yes,
like it's crisp and clean the way I like it. You know,
I've been tempted to get one of those UniWatch pickers. So you can pick it up there. I don't know if I have that half an hour to pick it off or the patience to do it, but you know, maybe when this is all over and I want to watch some sport, you know, maybe that'll be the right time to do it. But every time you advertise that, I'm like, yeah, you know, it's like 3 for $5, you know, okay, I could probably get a few.
Yeah, I know.
Is there, so we're obviously talking podcasts, you talk to sports and art. Do you ever listen to Makers of Sport?
No, I haven't heard of that one. Oh, I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, well, we'll trade message after that.
Okay.
I'm oh gosh, I can't think who runs it, but he's really good, and he talks to a lot of logo designers and artists that work for sports teams or in colleges there, and it's always really interesting to get more information. And then he does a really good kind of in between podcast of about trying to figure out the value of work, where it may not work for me. I'm not an artist or a designer, but I've been able to pull various information from him. It's a really good podcast to listen to, and especially when you have guys or the latest one I listened to, she was the graphic designer for the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs, and then got a job with the Royals. And so talk about that there, and it was just fascinating to hear the whole story behind that. So
it would be. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that anyways. Let's talk about your art. How did you get started?
Well, like I said, you know, as a young kid, I always drew, and I always drew logos. And I had a relative who had a subscription to Sports Illustrated. So my brother and I would get all the back issues. So I would just start, drawing these players, and then I just started building my skill, and then eventually friends or relatives said, "Oh, can you do me a drawing of so and so who plays for the Baltimore Colts?" I'm like, "Sure, no problem," And then so I actually have still one of my old Sports Illustrated covers or magazines, which is the Hank Aaron one.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Which is a great cover. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only one I have left, but it's a good one to have.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That would be when Hank Aaron became the all-time home run king. For anyone over here who might not know that, Babe Ruth 714 home runs as a player. Hank Aaron broke that. What was it? 1970?
Yeah, 74.
74.
Yeah.
Yeah. A record that some would say still stands to this day.
Yeah, I agree.
And that would be one of them. But yeah, that's an amazing cover, and that's great that you've managed to keep a hold of that all these years.
Yeah. It's quite nice to have. Yeah.
Would you say that that's like your favorite piece of sports memorabilia that you have from growing up, or do you have another piece that's even more kind of?
Yeah, that's probably one of them. I mean, obviously the schedule from my grandfather holds the most value, personal value for me.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Jason earlier, I still have, about 2 binders of cards. So one is baseball cards, one are hockey cards. So I still manage to hold on to those. They don't take up too much space. So.
Do you have a favorite card in each binder that you would never part with? With one day.
Well, I actually came across them. I don't know how I got them, but I have a couple of cards from the 60s. So this one is from 66.
Very nice. Yeah.
And then this one, John Rosborough from, I guess it would be 68.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And then some of the other ones, I mean, I've got this Gary Carter.
Oh,
Very
wow.
nice.
Yeah.
Which, as an Expo fan, I really like.
Yeah.
And Fergie Jenkins, a Canadian. So it's nice to have that one.
Yep. Yeah, I like
He's actually on social media quite a bit.
Yeah, he likes quite a bit of stuff. I'm always surprised when I've tagged in a couple photos here and there with my This Day in Baseball that I haven't done in about a month now because I'm too busy.
Yeah.
I have noticed that about Fergie Jenkins actually when I'm looking at a lot of your stuff. Like he interacts with people a lot. It's
yeah.
Great to see a guy who is a legend of the game and he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to sit on social media talking to fans all day, but he seems to get a genuine enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, he really does.
It's always amazing to see.
Yeah. And there's a few. I can just go through a few more quick ones. Pete Rose.
You're the last interview of the night, so we can go on and on.
Yeah.
John just had a 2-hour nap, so he's good to
go. Jason's not going to let me live that down. But I don't know if you know David, but I missed the first interview tonight because we were supposed to have one at 9:30 our time, but it got postponed. So I had set an alarm for 9:15, 9:15. Got up, got the message from Jason, this one's cancelled, we're postponing. I was like, great, I'm going back to sleep for an hour because I was exhausted. But I forgot to set an alarm. And so I missed most of the Stuart Anstead interview. I managed to catch the end of it, but I just felt at that point, if I just jump in now, it's going to cut into the time for the next one because I'll end up having to ask too many questions and we'll end up getting into altogether new territory. So we'll just need to have Stuart back on at some point. But I'm refreshed, so I can go all night. I'm not in any hurry to go to bed. Jason, on the other hand, might be.
I'm wide awake now. I'm good to go. I'm busy checking my phone to see how many raffle tickets I've sold. So.
Oh, right.
Oh, we should probably mention that actually. The raffle from Dugout Classics has begun as of today. Jason, do you want to quickly jump in and give the details for that?
Yeah, okay, so we'll do a quick one there. So we're doing 2 raffles. We have the general raffle of stuff that's donated. So we've gotten stuff from Major League Baseball Europe, a couple personal donations. GB Baseball has donated some. I haven't posted that one yet. Baseball Scotland has been very generous and donated a lot of stuff there. And then we have the Project 2020 cards that have been donated by Blake, F. Dot, and Ermsey. And
Nice.
so they're separate. So you can choose, you want to go to the general raffle, or you can choose, I want some Topps 2020 cards, because I did the quick math and the value of the Project 2020 cards, and there's $1,500 worth of cards there.
Very nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Nice.
So someone's going to win that F. Dot silver autograph, and that retailed at $700.
Wow.
And you can get all that potentially for a mere £5,
£5 or
$6.50. Yep.
I don't have the conversion in Canadian dollars, but
but yeah, do dugoutclassics.com for that.
yeah, and you'll find your way there to the Negro League fundraiser. It's right in the front page.
Let's seg back to you, David. Do you have any? Have you decided, obviously, with the fundraising starting? I imagine you will have. What do you have in store for the fundraiser?
Yeah, so I created this. When Tad first reached out to me on Instagram, I wasn't sure if I'd have time to create something new. So at that point, I thought, whatever I sell this week on my website, I'd give 20% to the museum, regardless if it was baseball related or not. And then I sort of figured, you know what, I think I can get a painting done. So I did a quick portrait of, I'll just show it to you here. Of Johnny Cowan, who played for the Cleveland Buckeyes.
Okay.
So I was sort of looking for a connection for myself for this.
Right.
And a few years ago, my eldest niece, well, more than a few years ago, but she went to Ohio and just outside of Cleveland on a lacrosse scholarship. And then she ended up marrying a fellow from Cleveland. So for this project, I was sort of trying to connect it personally for myself. So all of a sudden I came across the Cleveland Buckeyes team in the Negro Leagues. And I thought, hey, why not I do a painting of one of the players? I thought about doing Jackie Robinson with the Montreal Royals connection. I thought about doing Satchel Paige. And then I thought, I do kind of like those mid-range players that maybe people haven't heard of.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I've decided to do. And so for this painting, if it sells, I'll give the entire amount to the Negro League Museum.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that'll be my my contribution. Yeah.
How did you choose the players in the Buckeyes? Did you do your research behind it and go, okay, this guy was a star, this guy was, like that? A little bit. Originally, because I don't know if you've seen my ballpark series where I've done. I was going to ask you about that as well, and the bobbleheads.
Yeah. So, I've done the series of ballpark paintings of ballparks of all the ballparks that I've been to. And the title is, the name of the park and the actual day that I was at the game. So I actually, for this project, I thought, okay, I'll do a painting of the ballpark where the Cleveland Buckeyes played. But now it's still there. Well, the field is still there, but there's only one wall left.
Right.
And I sort of thought about, geez, maybe I should get my niece to go down and take a photo, send it to me, and then I can do a painting. But it started in terms of the timeline, it was getting a bit too tight. So I sort of thought, you know what, just do a painting of one of the players and go from there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really want to send your niece on a trip down to some place to get a picture.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be staying at home right now.
That's right. That's the other thing. That's right.
So tell us about the ballpark series, since you touched on that, because I was going to say, I imagine going to Safeco Field has been the highlight of every field you've been to.
I did really love Safeco.
Yeah,
I don't know how people from Seattle feel about it, but I really enjoyed it.
It's going from the Kingdome, which was just your cookie cutter standard bog standard. I mean, I played a game at the Kingdome in high school, and
oh wow,
and you could actually dribble a baseball on the turf there. It was crazy.
Wow.
I don't know how guys played on that day in, day out, because it was, I guess the best example is Olympic Stadium. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
I mean, Andre Johnson ruined his knees playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So going from there, and then getting, I mean, obviously they voted against the bill to get Safeco built, and then we won, and so they built it there, and you know, they did it correctly. Like I said, there's not a bad seat in the house. You can walk around. You would have known this as well. You get the big mountains, you know, and so yeah, so I enjoy going to games there. So it's a lot.
So guys,
and they have the retractable roof too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's up?
I just want to jump in and ask a question on the, you know, the Olympic Stadium and the Kingdom, the turf type thing. For like a guy out here who might not, you know, I'm not an expert on ballparks. You've seen where I play, Jason. I don't know the first thing about how to tend to it. But would that be the equivalent over here of like a plastic football pitch?
Or but a little bit. So you'll have like concrete, and they'll have like a softer layer behind it, which is still quite stiff and like that there. But then it's like an AstroTurf pitch, exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Marvelous. All right. Yeah. I've often wondered actually, because I've you know, obviously I saw a little bit of the Olympic Stadium, and I'm aware of the Metrodome. I think was the same sort of setup, right? So like, but they seem to be moving away from that kind of ballpark with the newer parts that are coming through. And if what you said about Andre Dawson, it's probably a good idea. To be honest, there's something special about playing football or soccer, as you guys know, in North America on grass rather than on a plastic turf. And I imagine it's the same for baseball and grass.
Well, that's what teams built on the speed from the 70s and 80s, because you had all these turf fields, and it was all about putting the ball on the ground, because the ball would give you a true hop, but it would go much quicker than obviously the grass one there. So if you ever watch any stuff from back then, those guys played like 20 feet behind the bag. So you had a chance to move the ball.
Yeah. Funny you should mention that. Actually, I was watching Game 5 in '95 ALDS, which you'll remember fondly, Jason. The other day, and I noticed that when Paul O'Neill kind of hit a ground ball, it was like a bouncy ball. It was like, and it's like, man, it's just such a. Imagine being like a road player that doesn't have to deal with that 100 or 81 games a year, and having to face that coming in. It must be terrifying.
Yeah.
So you get used to it. So a lot of the high schools in the Northwest will have a turf infield, because the weather is usually wet. And so if you have a turf, you practice with that. So again, like, I mean, I remember as a first baseman, I played a good 10, 15 feet behind the bag. And you kind of went, okay, great. This is how I'm doing. And so most of my experience playing first base was running to the bag and then trying to find the ball.
Would there be strategic elements to it as well, like shifts or whatever, that you would play, especially when you were playing on top, to counteract?
No, your left side of the field actually had to have a strong arm, because again, even at third base, there was reaction, and you could play up to the bag, but you would never play there. But a combination of metal bat coming off there, plus like that, you had to wear a cup. Like Scottish League baseball, I could play without a cup. I wasn't too worried. My hands were fast enough for that. So
well, I don't know about that. I play without a cup and that.
But I mean,
let's not get into that.
Guys play deep infields in the middle infield, because you'd have that time, because you knew you'd get true hop. There was no rocks there, and the ball would skip quite well. So you had to go like that. Whereas playing in Glasgow, you might have rocks, needles, bottles.
Yeah. Various wildlife.
No, it's not that bad out there, but yeah, it's a different experience where you play on a grass field, and of course the major leagues, it's manicured perfectly. But yeah, playing out here, you never know how the ball's gonna hop.
Yeah, because sorry, David, with football over here, it's very similar. Like the game moves differently on turf, and older players often have trouble with it because of the speed of the game. The ball obviously is skidding more and stuff like that, so it's great to have that answer, because I've often wondered about that with the kind of the dome turf type places and stuff like that.
Yeah. So the baseball fields over there that you would play on, are they true baseball fields with a backstop in the whole bit?
Most of them we have a fixed backstop, I think, as do Aberdeen and Tayport. Edinburgh has like a
pop-up
one. It's like a pop-up one, yeah. You guys have kind of more equipment, I think, though, than any other club.
Yeah, Yeah, we've had a ton of equipment.
Yeah.
So
except they said you guys don't have a mound or a fixed backstop. You've got like all the kind of other equipment, whereas we've got a mound and a backstop and almost no equipment. So let's go.
So what happened was as league president, we were trying to build up to do a fundraiser and sell square inches of Bobby Thompson Field. So and it just never got around to it because I had kids, and so and then it fell into Paul Convoy's hands, who was doing it there, and we've gotten permission to build a backstop. I think we have permission for the dugouts and have proper sunken dugouts, and then it's really coming down to just trying to find 90,000 pounds to get the dirt in and have it done properly. Up there, which is the hard part there, because I mean, it's fine to play on now, and I think they use a wooden mound. They go out that way, but eventually it's just trying to go, all right, how can we raise the funds, because no one has any money, and then do it that way. So I think maybe next year I might do the same thing, depending on how this raffle goes, and try to help try to go that. Because I thought, do you ever remember the $1 million website?
No.
The guy sold 1 million pixels for $1, and you can do whatever you want there. And so he raised $1 million that way.
So you would buy a part of the 1 pixel and decide what color it was going to be?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. So people bought block. It still exists. I mean, he bought the domain forever, and so yeah, you can still see it there, and it fits all on your one screen. And there's 1 million pixels in one screen, and people would buy stuff and make designs in it and stuff like that there.
That's pretty awesome.
So I thought the same idea. So I think we figured out there was something like 92,000 square inches in infield, and we thought we could do that and do the same way. So go spend £1, and that would raise 90,000 in there, and that would pay for the field.
So you you couldn't approach any municipal governments to try and help you out? It's not popular enough.
That's where I think
since 1977 or when he came out here, they blew all the money on Parliament. They blew all the money on the tram lines out here. Like,
so baseball isn't a high priority.
No, they're trying to force the field on us because they don't want to have to pay for the painting the lines. They don't want to have mow it. They want to just give it to us, and then we're like, we really can't do this right now. So I kind of say baseball here is like playing cricket in North America. It's out there. Look for it. You can find it.
Yeah.
But you really have to kind of stumble across it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's the great thing. Like, everyone's so passionate about it because, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays are our favorite days because there's always a day game, so you can actually watch a game there. Otherwise, like you said, your games start at midnight. John,
if you're lucky,
morning watching games.
Yeah, I'm in for a hard week next week because we've got 3 interviews a night, and the ALDS starts tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And the first game is at 1:05 a.m. here.
Wow. So
it'll be a case of 3 interviews, then straight into the ALDS, and then hopefully some sleep at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit too bad there weren't any games this weekend, when it was. Yeah.
Don't know where the decision to do that came from, but
it's all right. I got my Seahawks game in, so I'm happy.
Did the Hawks hold on and win? I saw that they were up early.
They did win. Yeah, they did win.
Excellent. It looked like a tight game.
Till the end. So
yeah, when I saw it, I think it was 10-9.
Yeah, they put it on the end. So I'm loving this. We're all over the place. But I want you to tell me about your ballpark series, because I didn't see you were there. How many ballparks have you been to, and which one was your favorite?
Oh, geez, probably, I don't know, 12 or 13.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
I'd like to eventually get to a lot of them. I was actually scheduled before COVID came along. I was scheduled to go to California to do the Dodgers, Padres, and Angels. Mm-hmm. So I was going to do that in September, but obviously that didn't play out. But I went to, years ago, I was in a show in Windsor, Ontario, which is across the border, or across the river from Detroit.
Yeah, you can swim there if you're feeling up to it.
So we took the tunnel, and then we went to a game at Tiger Stadium, which was pretty cool.
Old Tiger Stadium or new Tiger Stadium?
Yeah, old, yeah.
Right, yeah. I missed that. I missed the bleachers in the outfield just hanging on top of the field.
Yeah. So that, things like, places like that are pretty cool. And, Fenway, I went to Fenway back in probably 85 or 86.
Mhm.
So I've been to Wrigley a couple of times. Of course, the stadiums in Montreal, Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, and in the Sky Dome. PNC in Pittsburgh, which is a great park.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, yeah. Even and the stadium in Cleveland's not bad too. You know, I've been there.
Nice. Yeah, I need to visit more
And,
stadiums.
and Safeco, of course.
Yeah, I saw the safe one. That's why I said,
Yeah.
of course, that's what. We were talking about the baseball as art in Shelby, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Which I think you realize has been going for 10 years now.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. It's I sort of, when I started posting my stadium series on Instagram, I was starting to get some feedback from other baseball artists, and then I didn't really know that they even existed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to see Sean Kane's work, you know, the painted baseball gloves, which are amazing.
Yeah, he does great work.
Yeah, and he lives in Guelph, which is not too far from Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he had been in the Baseball as Art show, so I reached out to him, and he said, "Yeah, you know, do it. It's a great show," and he was really encouraging. So I contacted the fellow who runs it, and he said, "Sure, you know, ship us some work down." So I did, and so anyway, then I ended up going down for the opening.
Oh, wow.
So I met Noah Stokes, who's in the show,
Yeah, yeah.
in the fundraiser show, Negro League's fundraiser show. And then I also met Jimmy Parker, who came up for the opening.
That would have been fun. Like
Which,
I trade messages to Jimmy all the time, man. When I get a chance,
yeah,
Jimmy, he's so cool.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. So the three of us, myself and him and Noah, were chatting, and it was a really nice opening. We had a great time. So I was really glad that I went.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then ever since then, because it's kind of funny, like my baseball paintings were kind of almost like side projects.
Right.
You know, because I'm more trained in like the fine arts, you know, showing at galleries, doing other type of work. And then I did that baseball card series where I kind of mashed up baseball cards from the 70s along with glam rock stars like Kiss and Elton John, and put them together. And so this is one of like the postcard from that.
That's awesome.
So cool.
So I did a series of those, and these are, the originals are about 3 by 4 feet.
Oh, wow.
So that's Bill Stoneman from the Expos with Elton John glasses on.
Yeah.
And then I changed all the names of the players to the names of the kids that I played ball with when I was a kid.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of a tribute to the kid, you know, my friends that I played with when I was 10, 11 years old. Because we were all collecting these baseball cards. We were all listening to Elton John and Kiss and, you know, glam rock, Alice Cooper, you know.
So I know these Kiss cards. Are we going to see Kiss cards as baseball players then?
Yeah.
Go the other way around, yeah?
That sounds like an
years ago, I had a Kiss comic book from probably 75 or 76, and I don't know what I did with it. It's gone somewhere. But
those sons of bitches, they will sell anything.
Yeah.
They will literally sell anything with their names on it. You know, God bless them.
So but the baseball art show, anyway, it was a great experience, and I just connected with so many other baseball artists after that. And, you know, for something that started off as a side project, I've just started to seem to do more and more baseball paintings, you know. And then, like you mentioned, I did a series of bobbleheads, and also just the experience of when I went down to the opening. I went to a Charlotte's Knights game, and Louis Robert was playing, or Robert.
Yeah.
I went to Asheville, so I saw an Asheville Taurus game. So it was a great experience, you know.
Nice. Yeah. Once I realized they've been doing it for so long, because I think I've only known about the last 3 years, and now I'm like, I need to go down there, and I want to just go hang out with everybody, and especially now because I know a lot of people now. I get to talk to everybody now, so I'm like really excited about it now.
You know, it's funny about this fundraiser. I was thinking the other day that, you know, in some ways it's kind of due to COVID, because, you know, we're trying to raise money for the artists and also for the museum, because they don't have as many people coming through the doors. And you know, this whole experience has kept everybody apart, yet through this project, it's bringing everybody together virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And it would actually be amazing to see this show in real life, like if it was an exhibition with all this great artwork, with all these great artists. It would be pretty exciting, you know?
I think that would be like 3 or 4 days of drunken debauchery.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's the same thing as like I've been following various people for so long, and you know, just the various messages here and there, like I love your work, that's really cool what you've done, and now to actually be able to speak with everybody, I mean, I think that's been great.
Yeah.
And how's the community been for you? Has it expanded now? I mean, you've obviously done baseball as an art, and you've grown more and more that way. Have you found it interesting that you, all of a sudden all these baseball artists have come out of the woodworks and kind of go,
yeah, absolutely. And even for like for this show, you know, Tad reached out to me on Instagram, and then like with Herm, who does all the Met stuff, I noticed he wasn't on the list, but he was in the baseball as art show. So I reached out to him on Instagram and I said, "Hey, Herm, you really might be interested in this, you know, this fundraiser." And sure enough, he joined up, and so that was great. You know,
we spoke to him. Yeah, we spoke to him.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
love him. Great guy.
Yeah,
he's a great guy to chat to.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get Herman and Ramon together so they can watch a Mets game.
That's a great idea.
And then Anika was surprised because she casually mentioned that she draws all the Giants games because she'll take a scorebook and then lose interest and then just start drawing on it there.
Nice.
So she was saying she gets up that way. She was going to try to find him because she didn't realize he goes to all the games and draws.
Yeah, because I've been following on Instagram, especially last year when we had fans in the stadium, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, every day I'd be waiting to see his latest drawing. You know, it's kind of cool just to have that diary.
So have you, now that you've known there's 100 artists, has there anyone that you found new that just kind of blew your mind that you didn't know was out there?
Well, I didn't know Blake's work, which I really like. And there's also like, I guess sort of like more the graphic designers, like creating these amazing posters.
Yeah.
And which, you know, I have an affinity for, but I wasn't really in that sphere. And then to come across them and to see their work, it's quite impressive.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing to see everyone's work and kind of where it's come across and the breadth of everything.
Exactly, such a variety, you know, it's quite amazing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's interesting because when we did the Beckett's interview and was listening to the other artists pick who they liked and here and there, and it was interesting to see how they chose that according to what they did or not. So. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, John, do you want to ask your question? Because it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning here.
Oh, sorry.
But it's all, like I said, I think we can go on for hours. But let's go and wrap this up here because I'm going to get some sleep. John's going to be up.
And then I'll show you a couple of things just so people know what's on my website. Should I do that now or wait for? Yeah.
Go ahead and do that now. Yeah, and then we'll.
Okay. So I did a series of. During the lockdown, I couldn't really get art supplies. So I had some old postcards hanging around. So I started to do some paintings of Blue Jays on postcards. And these are all from photos I took last year when I was at the games. So this is one of a catcher.
Very nice, yeah.
Reese McGuire, Bichette.
Some player, some future ahead of them.
Yeah.
Great,
so these are all, you know, postcard size. Calvin Biggio.
Nice one.
Yeah. So anyway, and I'll just show you this is a Joe Carter bobblehead painting that I did.
Awesome.
Oh, right. That's bigger than I expected.
Yeah. So what I did was I've got about 7 or 8 bobbleheads. So I figured I would do a portrait of every one, kind of almost in a style of more of like a fine art style.
Right. Yeah.
But, you know, I've always been interested in pop art. So it kind of fits well with, you know, a baseball subject. So, yeah.
So are your bobbleheads, are they the proper old school ones made of clay, or are they the new version ones?
That's a good question.
I know you've been around long enough that you remember the proper bobbleheads were ceramic, and if you dropped them and they broke, you were screwed.
That's right. Actually, I don't think these are, I'm not sure. Most of them are from, I think, the mid 90s.
Yeah, when everything got changed. But yeah, because I remember that. I had a Padres bobblehead. I don't even know how I got it, but that was my prized possession. Even though like the chin was broken, I glued it back up there. But they were great because they actually bobbled. I mean, the new ones are fine. I'm not opposed to them. Like if you can find the real old school ones, like those are a lot of fun.
Modern bobbleheads tend to kind of they bounce rather than bobble. What am I doing? It's way too late for this.
Yeah, it's getting late for you guys.
So David, we always like to close up our interviews with the artists with the same question, and that would be, as an artist and as a baseball fan, what do the Negro Leagues mean to you? And I want to ask you, as a Canadian, do you feel that you have a different perspective on what the Negro Leagues mean in society, growing up in Canada, away from obviously the segregated United States?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we had, unfortunately, slavery way back in the day as well. It didn't last quite as long, thank God. But you know, but yeah, I guess my connection to the Negro Leagues is more through knowing that, you know, Jackie Robinson playing with the Montreal Royals and kind of his path, and then I knew of Satchel Paige, but to be honest, I didn't really know a lot more about the league. It's only been much more recently, maybe in the last 5 years. And then, you know, being Canadian, I learned about Geddy Lee giving his baseball collection to the museum, which was kind of cool. And then just through this project, you know, doing more research, watching videos. Yeah, it's been a real learning experience for me. And even when I reach out to my friends saying, oh, by the way, I'm in this fundraiser, and some of them will say, oh, I didn't even know there was a Negro Leagues or a Negro Leagues museum, you know? So it's a great way to spread the word. Absolutely. You know, and it's a great honor to the players that played and the fact of everything they went through and, you know, their perseverance to go through what they did and create a league and sort of almost say, well, screw you guys, we're going to take our ball and have our own league, you know, with amazing players, and then push their way forward, you know, into progress. So, and then having the museum to record all that and just to, as a learning institution, to let everybody know and spread the word. And I mean, even for myself as an artist, you know, I love going to museums. So I still haven't been to Cooperstown, but I want to go there. I want to go to the Negro Leagues Museum, you know? So, yeah. So I was really honored when Tad reached out to me. It's a great honor to be with all these great artists. So, yeah.
Cool. Amazing. Yeah. Now, we're going to open up back of baseball cards just shortly. Before we do, would you like to plug your social media presence and your website?
Sure. My website is my name, davidholden.com. And in my Instagram is David Holden Painter.
Excellent. Thanks so much for joining us, David. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys doing this.
We want to Facebook. We don't. It's too late for our audience is in bed.
Dad usually watches and all that, so.
We don't have anything at the moment. No. Everyone's kind of in bed, I think.
They're watching the football.
Yeah. I mean, it's Sunday, so yeah, there's a lot of other things going on other than ballcaps and bagpipes tonight. But again, thanks so much, David. It's been a blast. We want to get you back on to chat in more depth about your memories of baseball.
Absolutely.
On an episode of Ballcaps and Bagpipes. Let's without further ado, Jason, crack a pack and open some cards.
All right, 7 packs of cards. You get to choose one. So
okay.
So it's the junk era. Like I said, we go. So we got 87 tops. We've got 89 Donruss, 1990 Score, 91 Studio, 92 Donruss, 92 Pinnacle, and 93 Studio, or I can get a pack of modern cards.
That's okay. I'll go with the 87 tops?
Yep. Yeah.
Jason, right. You know what this means?
No. The gum's right here. I have a nice collection of gum.
It's okay. I'm not going to suggest that.
I think 87 Tops has been the crowd favorite by far.
Mm.
So
Well, I figured they're the ones closest to my era. So
so we start off with an Expo, but he's in a wrong uniform. We got Gary Carter.
oh,
All-Star.
that's okay.
Yeah. So we at least have the Montreal connection there. So
Yeah, that's right.
we've got the knuckleballer, Tom Candiotti.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, he's got a good stash there. So
I'm wondering. I'm trying to think if he played for the Blue Jays for a year. I can't remember.
possibly, like I said, a knuckleballer, you can pitch a 60.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. That's right. That's right.
You know, he was. I think he was. Him and Charlie Huff were the one knuckleballers that
Yeah.
kept it going for the Necro brothers, and then from there, gosh, who was it? Wakefield, and then R.A.
Yeah, Wakefield.
But
He
there's
did.
no,
Tom Candiotti played for the Toronto Blue Jays in 1981.
Oh, he did, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have a. I know where it is. Anyway, I have a Necro card here. Phil Necro.
yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, we've got a Dave Van Oland. I don't know who he is.
No.
All right, so I've got
Sorry, Dave.
Juan Bonita, with no relation to Bobby Bonita.
Right.
Nice moustache.
Yeah, so he
And
played.
I like the bright orange uniform too,
Those are my favorite as well. I really
Yeah.
do like the bright orange
Yeah.
one.
with the V-necks.
Exactly, Sans belt. You know, of course. You gotta have that. You know, I do love those. All right, we've got manager card John McNamara.
Oh yeah.
Don't know him. Was he a good manager?
He won a World Series, or no, actually he lost a World
No.
Series.
Yeah. Not with Boston.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was his fault. They wanted Buckner on the field to celebrate, so they normally pull them off for
Yeah.
defensive replacement. So
Do you know? I mean,
Yeah.
Bill Buckner. These things happen in games. You know, it's like if
Yeah.
if it had been anybody other than the Red Sox that had happened to, it wouldn't have been replayed on a loop for 30 years
Yeah.
before they won again. I feel so bad for Bill Buckner and for his family as well. Like, imagine what that must have done.
Yeah.
He got constant attention. Like every October, they would reel the same film. You know, you get your Kirk Gibson home run. You know,
Yeah.
the home run to left in the '76 series, and then you've got the Buckner through the legs, and it's these things
I
happen
know.
to the best players in games every day, but because it happens in a high leverage situation, it's just
Yeah. And who was it? Mitch Williams. Did he give up the home run to Joe Carter? I think.
he did, yes.
yeah. I mean, there has to be a winner in these situations, and sometimes the big
Yeah.
way. Like we just the spans often are overly harsh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know where that tangent is headed, but it's just where were we? McNamara, yeah. Back to the cards.
So speaking of the Red Sox, we got a Wade Bogg All-Star card.
Oh, nice.
The most conflicting ball player that I know of. I love that guy, despite the fact that he's better.
Is he in a Yankees uniform or Boston?
He's a Red Sox player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Love Wade.
Don Aussie. He's got that white uniform on there. So
Yeah.
I'm glad the Orioles went back to the bird logo. That's
Yeah.
the logo.
He's rocking a bit of a history teacher look there, isn't he?
All right. I remember this guy. This is Dale Mahalik, because that was just the name stuck out. That's really about it. So
Mahalik.
Yeah, I don't recall him.
Sounds
But, yeah.
Polish or something, yeah.
He doesn't look like he's got a scowl on his face. He doesn't look like he's happy to be there. But he went to Cleveland, Ohio State University. So there we go. Cleveland connection. Richard Dodson.
No. I used to have one of those White Sox hats though.
I like the White Sox hat. That's still my favorite.
Yeah.
They've had some crazy uniforms over the years, man.
Yeah.
Yep. I like the White Sox just for that. They're nice, crazy uniforms. All right.
Yeah.
Ted Power without the hat. Like I said, he think he'd have found a better picture of him.
He's like, I don't need no stinking hat.
So another key member of the Mets, Wally Backman.
Oh yeah. That's a nice card actually.
Yeah, it's a good looking card to him sliding there. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's probably Tony Pena back there catching, but that's just a wild guess.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Candy Molinaro.
Oh yeah, he played for the Jays during one of the World Series.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. He finds traveling an enjoyable experience.
That's what it says on the back of his card.
We all used to.
Drinking tea is fairly enjoyable. Is his favorite TV show Cheers?
No, it doesn't say that there. So
Of course it is. Of course it is.
No, it would have been Miami Vice then. All right, we got Mike Krukow for the Giants.
Oh yeah, I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I think he still announces games, if I'm correctly.
Oh yeah,
he looks like he's doing the Monster Mash.
Yeah, he does.
Oh gosh, now so I've had this debate with my buddy on here. It's Ray Knight. So who's a better athlete, him or his wife?
I don't know his wife.
His wife was PGA golfer Nancy Lopez.
If she's a
really?
golfer, she's a golfer. She's not an athlete.
Wow, she was a really good.
Golf
She was a really
isn't a
good
sport.
golfer.
Golf is not a sport.
Even if you're watching, it's controversial. Yeah,
And we invented it. So
I know. I was gonna say, how could you say that if you're Scottish?
it's a pastime. It's not a sport.
Oh, I see.
It's this whole. It takes a lot of skill, yes, but it's not a sport.
Do you golf,
it's a glorified stroll. Is what it is, and it's no nonsense. I don't like golf.
Yeah.
I don't like golf. All right, I'll say it. I don't like it. Fuck golf and the horse that rode it on.
This is the controversial part of the podcast.
I like golf. I enjoy golf. I miss golf, and now I think I need to take it back up because that means that's 5 hours away from the wife and kids.
I tell you what, Jason, you and I need to go play golf together.
Yeah, anytime.
You can sell me on it. You can sell me on golf. I have clubs, but I don't play.
Yeah, you're gonna hate it, but yeah.
I remember quick story. I skipped school when I was in primary 2, which would be about 7 years old. Don't know what that would be in Canada or the United States, but my dad just decided one morning, like, let's just go play golf instead of school. How about it? Like, because it was a nice day and it was just a kind of, it was the 1990s, so anything back then. So my mum went to school with my little brother Ross, who's 2 years younger than me. So he was in the nursery, the kind of preschool, which was in the same building in Moss End Primary School, which I was at the time. So my mum goes into my primary 2 class and says to my teacher, John can't make it today, he's not well. And my brother goes, John's fine, he's be playing golf with dad, is he not? And my mum was like, shut up. totally stuck us in it. That was a story that I remember my mum telling me from back then.
We'll go golfing. After we're done, we'll definitely go golfing.
Sounds like a plan, man.
All right, we got 3 cards left. We got Fred Tolliver for the Phillies.
Okay, I don't recall him.
Yeah, he doesn't look very happy to be there. He bounced around for quite a few years. And we've got the Bull, Leon Durham.
Oh yeah,
he was a power hitter there. So
yeah,
he was good for about 20 a year, about 90. That's not bad.
Is Durham known for bulls? The city of Durham, is it known for bulls?
I'm assuming that's why they have the name for him.
Yeah, because obviously Durham Bulls would be obviously Bull Durham is the movie, but like
yeah.
Cool. And our last card is Greg Brock of the Dodgers. This is California Kid. He's got the little palm tree back there.
Yeah, I know. That's funny that his pose is a real old school pose.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of up below, looking up at there, and like
yeah.
Do you think that that's something he's asked to do? It looks like he's probably collected cards growing up, and he's been like, can I do a very old style, can I do like an old kind of 60s style pose here? It's a great card that.
So that's
a timeless one. It's a timeless. Keep rocking.
So Greg won himself the free use of a car for a year by hitting a hole-in-one. So there you go.
To bring us back to golf, please.
I'll just show you this card because you guys have been. I've always. I know you've been pulling a lot of Griffey Junior cards. Right. So anyway, here's a Griffey Senior card.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
All right. Fantastic.
And a Bobby Bonds card, not a Barry Bonds, but a Bobby Bonds.
Bobby
Nice.
Bonds, New York
love
Yankee.
it. I love that series. Those cards are so cool. I wish I could afford a box of those things.
Are they quite expensive now, those ones?
Like $2,000.
Really? Wow.
Well, you can buy them cheaper, but so there's a whole thing about buying a sealed box that's been certified not to be tampered with.
Okay.
Those go for like 4 or 5 times what a box is. So if you see a box on eBay, it might go for like $500, but there's no guarantee that it's not been tampered with, or people have opened the cards up and then resealed the wax and there. So there's actually like companies now that just deal in these sealed boxes, and they go, it's never been tampered with, it's in perfect condition, and should you want to open it, it will cost you $2,000 for one of those.
Wow.
You know. So yeah, so it's because everyone wants to say if you can pull it's the George Brett and Robin Yount from that year, or the rookie cards, and if you can pull a gem mint 10 out of those, they go for just crazy money.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. Interesting.
So yeah, so same thing with me. So I hadn't collected cards since like 2001, and before, and that was like 1 year I collected cards, and back then it was like 91, 92. And what happens now is everyone, it's no longer just saying get that Ken Griffey Jr. card. It's getting that Ken Griffey Jr. card that's perfectly centered and everything with it. And so you send it in to get graded, and there's a 10-point scale on that there. So obviously the higher the number is, the more it is there. And then there's actually like a database. So you can say, okay, how many Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck cards are there that have been graded 10? And they can tell you that there's 4,000 of these in the 10. There's 20,000 in a 9, like that there.
Right.
It just blew my mind. I had no idea this stuff existed anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. For me, it was all about just grabbing the cards and going, cool, it's McGuire, cool. Yeah. I didn't care. You know, the corner's not bent, so for me, it's in mint condition.
Yeah.
Those bastards have been screwing you guys for your entire childhood. Like, oh, this is great, and then you're like, you don't realize it's
because as kids we'd put them in the spokes in our bikes, you know.
Yeah.
Cards, yeah.
Or throw it around. What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Who was telling us about that? They put everything in a bag and they threw it and they picked
up.
They
would do lineups and they would get points for the stats and stuff like that. Yeah, we were speaking to someone a few days ago who was saying that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out there. Anyways, let's call it a night. David, it's been fantastic talking with you. We can go on for hours here.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have it on again, and me and John are talking about putting something together where we all get together for a drink online, and you guys can ask us the questions.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, I really appreciate you having me on, and I really appreciate you, supporting the cause for the Negro Leagues Museum. It's really great.
And David, I don't know if you know this, Jason. You do. I'm fond of a trivia quiz, so I'm thinking a big trivia quiz with all the artists potentially down the line. You mentioned the NLBMArt. That fundraiser has started as of today.
Yeah.
It's NLBMArt.com, where you can find all the information on the fundraiser. You can find information on all the artists and links to all the different pieces. I'm thrilled to be part of this. I'm just a guy in Scotland who happened to luck upon baseball as a teenager through video games, and now here I am with all you amazing artists and learning all these stories. And like I've said before, I get a chance to kind of go back in time vicariously and live through that experience of growing up going to ball games with you guys, and the whole subculture of collecting cards and just seeing all this amazing art that I was completely unaware of before. So it's been an absolute pleasure for me.
Great, yeah.
And it's been a pleasure speaking to you, David. Thank you so much for coming on, and we hope to.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks again, guys.
Good night, everyone. Go Habs.
Yeah.